Development in Practice, or DIP, as we affectionately refer to it, we're a strong Q2 journal, and we have a practical focus. The journal is edited by the Development Studies Association of Australia and published by Taylor and Francis. But we have a very large proportion of authors from the Global South, roughly 65 to 70% of corresponding authors, at least. And conversely, we have a majority Global North readership, with readers based in the UK and the US, among other places. So in some ways, we seek to act as a mouthpiece for authors from the Global South, and we strongly encourage articles that focus on practical outcomes and may result in real world change in terms of practice and policy. For this reason, we've also got a strong practitioner readership, and Oxfam is among one of our highest downloaders. They're also the journal's previous publisher. One other thing I suppose to add is that the journal has a very strong gender focus. So we encourage all submissions to focus on gender where relevant and where authors may not have considered it. So if you do submit an article to us and you haven't got anything on gender, we're likely to write back and say, have you considered this angle? And to really push you. I would say look at the journal's instructions for authors page as a starting point. And go through, for example, our journal has information on preferred structure, things like a literature review, up-to-date literature, tying your findings back to the literature that you choose to incorporate, to make sure that you've got a really strong argument for a contribution to the field. I think it can be helpful to contact the editor and send an abstract and say, is this something that you would be interested in publishing? Occasionally we get things that are just far better suited to a journal on finance or a journal on, for example, law. We get quite a few that would not work for us, but would definitely be interesting to a journal with a focus on law. So we will usually tell authors that and recommend they send it elsewhere. Check that there's no, that you haven't accidentally put something in without quoting it or citing it, I would say is another thing. We run plagiarism checks on all submissions as a matter of course, and that can be a strike against you if you've forgotten to cite something properly. I suppose the other thing is to read what the journal has published previously to get an idea of what they're interested in, and what the aims and scope of the journal are.